If you have an idea and you want to build something, a product, which might be used by lots of users later, how do you start? Do you build a big backend and start off by thinking about things like authentication? Where do I put my database? If you're thinking about all this, you're doing it wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you why it's important to start with a minimal approach, what the best stack is for this minimal approach. The first and foremost part that you will need is a landing page. But Aaron, a landing page is marketing. No, wait. Your landing page is the first thing possible users will see. You need to explain your idea, what it does, how the users benefit from it. For this, I have a very great technology. It is called Astro. You can use it to build landing pages such as this or this. Let's just quickly jump into some code and do the...
For this, we will go into the Astro docs, copy the command to create a new project and paste it into our terminal. The setup will ask us questions like where we want to store our project and will then install all dependencies for us. Now let's go ahead and open the project in our favorite IDE. Since I've become a victim of the vibe coding trend, I will use cursor here and first create a big readme so my AI tool knows what I actually want to program. For Astro, I like to create one big main layout. In this main layout, I place everything that each page needs to replicate, such as head tags and so on. We will create the index page and use the just created main layout there. Let's import it here, and we are good to go for the beginning. And there we go, the first AI prompt to generate an award-winning website. Classic. Let's briefly check what the AI just created and take everything out that we don't need at the moment. And now we can have a first look at the created website. Looks good so far, nice colors, but it misses something, right? Yeah, it misses a big chicken burger. Let's open up good old GIMP and just remove the background here and paste a lot of chicken burgers into our landing page. We should probably remove that chicken burger block at some point, it's not that necessary. But I would say this landing page is pretty much done.
Users will find this and think, wow, what a great landing page. Before we jump into building an SPA, we need to consider one thing. How do you want to integrate business logic and backend functionality into your product? My answer is simple. I use Firebase. They offer everything that I need for free. I can have authentication. I can have a Firestore, which is a NoSQL database that I can use to store anything I need. And they offer object storage. For example, in the Chicken Burger Scout, I want to upload images of chicken burgers. There's no need to build anything myself, and if I need some business logic where I do some complex calculations or some secret stuff that I don't want to do in the front end, I can just put it in a cloud function and host it all over the world. Easy as cake.
Let's jump into the next part. Creating the Firebase project. We go to the Firebase console and just quickly create a new project here. You have to enter some kind of name. I just put chicken burger rating up here, whatever. And I will uncheck all these AI tools. I don't need any of those at the moment. I don't need chicken burger AI. And let's also disable Google Analytics. We wait and wait. And it's done. Yay. Now we just create a new web application here, give it any name. This gives us the credentials that we need for our front end. Next step is to enable the authentication module of Firebase. We will add email and password login. And also go ahead and enable the Google login. Now, with authentication configured, we will add storage next. We need the storage module so that users can upload their badly lighted and unappetizing chicken burger images. To use the storage module, you have to upgrade to the pay-as-you-go plan. I will do this quickly and skip all the credit informations here. Next, we will add the Cloud Firestore. We just go with the default settings here and paste the security rules that we created. And with this, the initial Firebase configuration is done.
Now, the next thing, of course, we're going to need is the actual implementation of an app. My recommendation for a front end is simple. Stick to any kind of SPA that renders static sites, and then you can take it to any cloud provider, basically for free. You don't need to pay for anything there.
At the moment, I prefer to use Vue for that. I created a template over time that I now just take and copy. It comes with Tailwind, basic routing, and everything I need to interact with Firebase. I will add the link below, so if you're interested in this, you can have a look, or you use anything that you might prefer. Meanwhile, I created a big feature list. I will remove anything here that's non-essential for my first MVP, because if we're honest, we just need the most essential features to work. As a dev, I like to give anything UX related to Cursor. I'll try the first iteration here, but it looks like this, and this is not really what I expected. So I'll do the classic, and I threaten to put Cursor into jail.
Fast forward here, we are just building a simple SPA. It's nothing spectacular. We have a map. You can add a new marker to the map where you can rate your favorite chicken burger place. You can add a tasty picture of the chicken burger and give some text input, right? As we are done now with building all our great tools, the landing page and the SPA, we need to deploy it somewhere. This can be tricky if you have a complex stack, but it is not tricky if you just use Cloudflare Pages. If you don't use Cloudflare by now, why? They have so many great things out there, totally for free. The free plan is, and yet you are not using it, your loss. I use it to manage my DNS, to manage email routing, we will get to that later on, and to also manage deployment over Cloudflare Pages. Let's jump into the setup and connect both of our GitHub repositories to a new Cloudflare Pages project.
First, we will create a GitHub repository for our landing page. It doesn't have one yet. I create a quick initial commit here, and then jump over to the app and do the same there. Then we head over to Cloudflare. We click the add button at the top, and then select Pages to create a new web application. I use the connect to Git function to link one of my GitHub repositories to this Cloudflare page. This will trigger builds on each push to this repository. I give it a descriptive name, and then I select Astro as my framework preset. This will basically just run npm run build, and it's almost the same for every frontend framework, but nonetheless it's a pre-configuration. The first build was successful, and Cloudflare gives us a new domain for our Pages project. I'll quickly do the same for my frontend and also deploy it as a Cloudflare page. I select the chicken burger rating app repository, check that the name is good, and here I select Vue, which also just runs npm run build. But we need to configure some variables here, so I'll skip the boring part and just fill out everything. Then we wait for the build to complete, and we have a new site configured. Nice. We can jump over to the deployed landing page now. It works and it looks good. For the front end, we need to add the new domain to the list of authorized domains that can access the Firebase authentication. Now the sign in with Google feature finally works. We can log into our application and test every feature that we built. We can add a new store, give it a nice little name. This is my favorite KFC right here. And now let's add a rating. I give it 8 out of 10 chicken burgers, and it's absolutely okay. I'll also add a picture, which is definitely not a stock photo, and send off my review. Does it work? Yes. Nice.
Speaking of URLs, you also know what the most important part of any web application is ever, right? What should be the first step you do? It is simple. The first thing you should do is you go and buy a domain, because there's one big motivating factor, and that is, well, I already have the domain, I should use it.
Let's brainstorm what name we could use, and this one is nice, Chicken Burger Scout. Let's quickly register a domain over Cloudflare. The .com domain is still free, I can see, and it's only $10.44. I'll skip the part here where I enter my credit card information, and it's bought. Support me below to help me pay bills. Next, we link our app and the landing page to the freshly bought domain. This is done by entering app.chickenburgerscout.com here, or whatever great thing you are building. It will now create a new CNAME record so that our new domain points to our old domain. Then we need to do the same for our landing page. So we enter the domain name here and let Cloudflare add the CNAME record that points to our old domain. Quickly adapt all the old links in your projects to point to your new domain and you are good to go. And of course, we also need to change our branding and name so that it matches our great new name. Landing page looking clean. The app is working too. We have an adapted logo and we can still use the map and everything. And with this, we are basically done. The deploy worked and the users can find us with our new domain.
The final part is something more serious that any startup of yours, any product idea of yours should do. You need 3 more things. You need email routing, you need analytics to see how much users you actually get, and you need error monitoring. Let's talk about each of these 3 things.
Let's jump into the email routing first. Most often, you only want to offer some kind of support email and receive incoming mail in your normal inbox. That's exactly what email routing is for. Users send emails to, in my case, contact@chickenburgerscout.com, and I get them in my daily inbox. Next, we will create our tracking script for Plausible. Plausible is a very minimal tracker that I like to use to just have a quick overview how many users I actually have, how many people are visiting what page of my application and stuff like this. So let's go ahead and add the Plausible script to both the landing page and the front end. Another important part for my projects, and something I tend to forget for too long, is Sentry, or basically anything that captures your errors. Otherwise, how would I know that on some mobile browser some feature of my application doesn't work? But with Sentry in place, I can rest easy and be sure that I would get a mail if some product-breaking bug occurs. Now, with emails done, visitor behavior tracked and errors monitored, this product is complete. After only 6 hours of work. Let me know in the comments below how you like to build your projects. Did I miss something important? Do you still build huge backends that you then need to run in some kind of ECS? I'm all ears for it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.